have spent a lot of years psychoanalyzing people, or at least trying to psychoanalyze people, especially my late teens and my early 20s. Oh my god, so much of my thought process was preoccupied with why he did that or why she said that. And when you are younger, you tend to believe that your value system and your model of the world is the default model of the world. It's the model of the world that you share with every human being. So you assume that all of humanity agrees to the basic concepts that you think are like the foundational ideas in your model of the world: truthfulness, fairness, don't attack, don't cause harm, etc. etc. So, because you assume that we share a certain foundational model of the world as human beings, we can understand and explain away each other's actions. I used to have this idea very deeply, and whenever, even in news, I used to hear stories of somebody who did something that I simply can't understand. Or in real life, it's so much more painful in real life when I see a friend acting in a way that it's absolutely out of character for me. Or I saw a person I was dating or I liked acting in a way that was completely out of character. It used to disturb me because I had this assumption that because we share the same model of the world, I should be able to analyze and understand your actions at least reasonably well, if not fully. And that is such a dangerous assumption to have. Not only do we share wildly different models of the world, even though we go through so called the same education system, we are a part of so called the same society where certain basic tenets are agreed upon, still our model of the world is wildly different. Wildly different. And you never come to know that unless you interact with a person over a period of time and you observe their actions. Not only is this the truth that our models of the world are extremely different, even between two siblings, but also a lot of the actions that people take are not taken after a deep sense of thought, after deep thought, deep planning, a deep sense of wanting to have a logical outcome of the situation. Actions are not made like that. Human beings don't act all the time out of rationality. In fact, they almost act very few times out of rationality, only in situations where it's extremely important or where they know that they are being looked at or judged. But in our daily circumstances, we very often, a lot of human beings, very often act out of convenience, out of a lack of consequence, out of a momentary feeling. So that's why it's so easy to see people around you who will make very big promises when they want something, and when they don't want that same thing will just as easily discard you or ask you to just go f off. It's very easy to spot inconsistency in human behavior because we are not as logical and rational as we want to believe that we are. And a little bit of that behavior is regulated in relationships. I can't hit you, I can't cause you bodily harm, at least in theory. So, a certain amount of human behavior is regulated. So, there are certain lines which you cannot cross without consequences. But then, a large part of human behavior is not and cannot be regulated. There are a million ways in which I can engage with another human being and take advantage of them that cannot be regulated. I can make promises to you, and unless I have it in writing, you have no proof. So I am counting on your empathy and I am counting on your belief that the world is fair to be able to take advantage of you. And you see this in friendships, you see this in relationships all the time. A lot of human behavior is illogical, it is impulsive, it's because you are annoying me and there is no consequence for me to do whatever I am going to do now with you, so I'll just do it. And it's not following like any kind of rationale or any kind of morality. And these are things that you learn when you are older. So the emphasis on psychoanalyzing people so deeply kind of just goes away. I'm still curious. I like to learn how we reached where we reached. As a race, as individuals, developmental psychology, evolutionary biology, etc., etc. But it was very different when I was younger because to the point of obsession, I wanted to explain away other people's behavior. I wanted to understand why somebody did something as if everything is explainable. To be honest, a lot of the times people don't know why they are doing what they're doing. But I guess that was a way for my mind, as it is for many people, to create a sense of security in a world where you essentially understand that you understand so little. So you want to create a sense of security by being able to explain away other people's actions. Um, that's one thing. But my extreme habit of, and by the way, women do this. Oh my god, the way it triggers me today. Why did he say this in the text? Why did he do this? Why do you think he still thinks about me? We are programmed to psychoanalyze other people's actions and to derive our sense of worth from what we can deduce out of those actions, as if the actor in front of us who is being psychoanalyzed is a completely rational creature who is going to act out of logic in a consistent way all the time, and that assumption is absolutely false. 99% of the times he doesn't know why the fuck he is doing what he is doing. Anyways, this habit of psychoanalyzing other people and myself has also led to certain theories over time that I have. Now that I know that we as human beings very often don't share the same worldview, um, I have growing up when I was especially in my teens and again in my early 20s, I have seen people around me get in and out of relationships with a considerable amount of ease that I never seemed to have. And I have seen people around me feel a certain sense of security and even like joy around people. And for me, being around people has always been more effort than it ever felt worth it. It was effort, it was painful. And I used to often ask myself, what is the difference between me and these people? What could have been different? Now, this is just a part of the difference and a theory. I am not a scientist, I am not a developmental psychologist. I have come over time to look at myself as maybe a radio or a YouTube. Like I am a YouTube feed, okay? And the kind of music that I play in my feed over and over again, the kind of music that I activate in my feed, I am giving that feed information about what my preferences are, and a similar kind of information, similar kind of music, similar kind of content gets pushed to me. As a result, I engage with that content more, and then I build a worldview. I think we have many bodies inside our body. Theory, metaphysics, whatever you want to make of it. This is my way of expressing. I have a body of ambition inside my body. I have a body of fun inside my body. I have a body of anger inside my body. I have a body of empathy inside my body. I have a body of pain, sadness inside my body. And when we are young, our parents and our surroundings, consciously or unconsciously, they activate certain bodies. And we, through our own decision making, also activates certain bodies. what we end up becoming, especially when we grow up, when we are not aware, our default state, it's not a permanent state. Our default state ends up becoming the bodies that were the most activated when we were children. If my surrounding activated the sense of pain and betrayal inside me again and again over a period of 18 years, 19 years, 20 years, those frequencies are the loudest in my system. So you can consider it metaphysics, that like a magnet, you will end up like attracting the same kind of people who will give you the same experience of betrayal or extreme pain, or psychologically, because that's the state of body, because pain and happiness are not just psychological states, they are also physiological states, because that's a state of body that I am used to. Even though it's extremely unpleasant, I will not be as deeply repelled by it as somebody who doesn't have those states activated in the same way. Somebody who grew up with a reasonable level of security may find chaos extremely unbearable, or not wanting to tolerate that at all. Their tolerance for somebody creating chaos in their life may be very less. So in a little bit of chaos you go away. Somebody who already has these energies activated inside them, their tolerance for those same might be pretty high. And sometimes it's through your extreme high tolerance for bullshit that you keep a lot of trashy people in your life. This is one theory that I have, and that's why as we grow older, at least in my case and in a lot of other people's case, I have found that we become a little bit more careful about what kind of thoughts and what kind of people we want to entertain, because it's like smoke. You take a smoke once and the smell remains with you for a few hours. So these things, if they have gotten activated and they remain in your system for a certain level of time, they will take their own sweet time to go away. So if something has remained in my system for 5 years, it will take maybe 5 years, maybe 4 years, maybe 6 years to go away. And we become more aware of that. So we don't want an unwanted guest in our system who will come, who will stay, and even after it's past its expiry, even after I know now it's time for you to go, it will still take its time. So these channels that have been activated inside of us, they are not permanent states, at least I don't believe. But if you have had pain and betrayal activated in your system for 18 years, it's very reasonable to believe that the next decade will still see, even after you have physically removed yourself from that situation, the next decade will still see similar patterns coming. It's unreasonable to think it won't. If you're very lucky, it might not, but that thing is still very active in your system. So if you are able to push that away, and if you're able to still survive, maybe you reach a place where that thing has become either inactive or muted enough and other things have taken its place, that now you need to be less scared of those same situations arising in your life. This is my idea, that when shitty feeling gets evoked and it's watered in your system, it will take roots and it will need time to go away. Even once you have decided that I no longer enjoy this, I no longer want this. And you see this all the time, like children who grow up with domestic violence, mentally they are so against it. Mentally they are like, this is wrong, but they inevitably keep attracting partners who are violating them in one way or another. This is a very common topic, and I want to learn more about it. I have become very curious over time. If we are more than our childhood template, if we can ever like surpass the template that has been, I do think we can change it significantly. But can we surpass it or not? Let me know what you feel. Thank you.